with us. They are fantastic. It's great to have you with us here on, of course, Lobster Chronicles, a special edition, because not only do we have these experts with us, but we're going to be giving away $300 worth of Promar gift cards and some swag that I know you're all going to love. Hey, before we get going, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, and make sure you tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Share these videos everywhere. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. It is really great to be with you, and I want to introduce our special guest. First of all, Will Beardo. Will, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So good to see you here. You run a fantastic operation. I know you're in between boats right now, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is you do, how long you've been in the industry, and then we're going to meet Gil right after you.
Awesome. Yeah, so I run a six-pack charter out of Long Beach. As Phil said, I'm in between boats right now, but six-pack is kind of my thing, so I can still go on your boat and guide you and kind of show you how to do that, as well as I work with a few other captains, so I'm still running my charters.
Excellent.
As well. So, yeah, a little bit of Catalina hoop netting, as well as local in Long Beach.
Excellent. And how do people get in touch with you? Say, I've got a boat. I want you to come out and show me how to read the sonar and everything else. How do we get in touch with you?
So Instagram, Facebook. Instagram, I'm Wet Willie Fishing. On Facebook, you can find me at Will Berto, or my website is wetwilliefishing.com. So
Will,
one of those.
I see you often dropping comments on our YouTube channel. Man, thank you. That means a lot coming from somebody like you. Very well-respected person, and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a pleasure just watching you and just seeing all the great guests that you've had on the show and in previous episodes. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right, perfect. And now, Gil Hernandez. Gil,
yes,
how
sir.
are you?
I'm doing great, man. Great. Good to be on your show again.
Dude, I mean, I think you were on my show maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, crazy. It's time flies by.
It really
We always
does.
have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good one tonight, despite the fact that Brian Sanchez from Promar is here. He always makes it rough having a good time.
Yeah, he's great. We love Brian.
He's still trying to figure things out. Have you noticed that? We're already getting lots of comments. Some of the format, or a lot of the format, will be your questions and their answers. Not my answers. These guys are the pros, so we'll be talking to them and figuring that out. Why don't you tell everybody out there, kind of introduce yourself. What is it you do in the industry?
Man, I do a lot of things. So my name's Gil Hernandez. Gilbert Hernandez is my birth name, of course, but everybody calls me Gil Rocket. That's with an I, R-O-C-K-I. And I run an operation guide service called Rocket Fishing. And so you can find me on the web, rocketfishing.com. There we do kayak guide services where I could take you either sand bass fishing, calico bass fishing, bay fishing, but during the lobster season, we do lobster hooping. And I take guys out guiding, or I do too go on people's boats as well, show them how to use their meters and stuff like that. But mainly, I'm really big in the industry. I'm with a lot of different companies. I'm with Turner's, Pure Fishing, Hobie Polarized. There's a slew of people that I'm with that I brand. But one of the people that I love the most is Promar USA, where we're here today to talk about lobsters, lobster hooping, the gear and whatnot. So I'm super excited to talk about all that today.
Yeah, and to reach you, Gil, what's the best way to do that?
The best way to reach me is either my website, rocketfishing.com. Again, rockets with an I, or get me on social media, Instagram or Facebook at Gil Rocket. That's GILROCKIT. And you'll find me there. I post all the time. I post reports. I post on the water stuff, and hopefully give you guys the best content that I can.
All right, perfect. Will, Gil, and Phil. How can you beat that, man?
Yes, tongue twister.
Three Stooges coming at you.
Tongue twister.
Here, live and direct. All right, so guys, when we get questions, I think we'll just alternate. I'll ask you, but feel free to chime in if you feel like you could add something to it. I'll read a couple of comments. I got a lot of questions for you. I'm interested in what you guys think about the full moon and lobster fishing, all kinds of stuff. So Aaron is along with us saying hello. Current Jam is just totally looking forward to this. Chivo is with us. He wants to know if he won. Chivo, we haven't even started that yet. Hang on. Calm down.
A little excited.
Grant from UC Fishing Rods says, what's bugging? And let's see, we've got another gentleman saying hello. And then John says, hi, everyone. Who here is interested in buying 3 lobster hoops at a fair price? We got a guy selling his lobster hoops. So let me start out. Let me ask you, fishing on the full moon for lobster. Does it make a difference? Is it better? Is it worse? Doesn't matter.
So it makes a little difference, but I always tell people I've had a couple of my best nights on a full moon. I feel like a lot of people and a lot of lobster hoopers are scared to go out on the full moon because of the amount of light. But some of my best nights have been there. So, you know, I say time on the water is what is going to get you the lobster.
Yeah.
So if the full moon night is the night that you can go out there and learn a lot, put your hoops in the water, and you'll catch some.
Well, Will, all year long, we've been talking about how the full moon has had a detrimental effect on the bluefin tuna fishing. And then we go on the Amigo, it's a full moon, we had great fishing. So that kind of proves your point, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's just, you get out when you can. And yeah, there's, you know, nights where it's not lit up. It might be a little bit better, but you're still going to catch some lobsters if, you know, you take the tips and tricks that we share and you just get your, you know, your time on the water.
Yeah. Gil, what do you think?
I agree with Will. I think that some of the biggest lobster that I've seen have come on a full moon. But what I want to make sure, though, is that people know how to read the moon. And I think that that's where the mistake comes in is there's a moon rise and a moon set. And a lot of times you can go out on a full moon, but you can still hoop the darker part of the night if you know how to read the moon. And there's a lot of apps that can teach you that. There's one specific app I can actually share with you guys that I use for that, and it's the Tide Alert app. And basically it gives you a calendar and it shows you all the moon phases. But for me, I'm more on tide. I like more water movement. But if I can find a good, like Will was saying, like I'm not going to not go out because of the moon. For me,
Don't you get a lot of tide on the full moon, though?
yeah, there's always going to be a lot of pull.
Yeah.
But depending on when it rises for me. So like I just hooped, like we just had a full moon a couple weeks back, and as it started to kind of go into the crescent moon stage and different, I knew the moon wasn't going to be full till 11 o'clock. That's the moon set. And so there's the moon rise and the moon set. And so if the moon's rising at 5, but it sets at 11, that gives me that window of that 5 hours to hoop.
Yes.
And so, but then you have to encounter too, on the coastline, there's always clouds and overcast, and a lot of times that covers the moon. And I think a lot of times too, what the people get mistaken is that they may think they're hooping a full moon, but they're hooping a moon rise. But by the time they get into the parking lot and they start parking their boat and doing all their stuff, the moon is the brightest.
Yeah.
And so, because you're hooping all night, you're not paying attention to the moon. I do. I pay attention. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's rising. Like I'm turned into a werewolf or something. But I know the rise and the set, just like you know tide. Tide is huge. So I tell people to be a great lobster hooper, you need to know how to read tide, and you need to know how to read moon phases as well.
Yeah, excellent. Go ahead, Will.
I would add one thing too. If you're hooping the harbor as opposed to like hooping the island or something like that, there's already a lot of light in the harbor. So it's not like that extra light is really going to make a huge difference. You know, there's parts of the island that are pitch black, you know, because there's not any light around there. Whereas the light from the moon definitely, you know, causes a difference. But harbor, it's not as much of an impact.
Yeah, excellent.
100%. I agree 100%.
Man, awesome
100%.
answers, no doubt about it. Hey, you have to participate in the live chat to be eligible for our prizes tonight. If I've got this right, Brian, pay attention. We have a $100 gift certificate to Promar Ahi. You go to the website and you can get $100 worth of stuff. Then we have a $50 another gift certificate, and then we've got their new apparel. It's great. 2 of these little bundles. You get the Promar new what do you call these things? Hoodies and T-shirts, which are beautiful, right? Will, look at we got our model
there
wearing them right there. So they're really, really beautiful. 4 prizes tonight. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to give them out. Brian hasn't told me yet, but you need to be in the live chat. Many times what we'll do is Anthony, the dog, will collect all the names, and then we'll just pick names out of there. We'll assign numbers to them, and then these guys will pick random numbers. Yeah, we're probably going to do that. So
every time somebody asks a question,
yes,
they get entered into the chance.
You mean every time? Okay, yeah. One time, right?
As long as they ask one question, they're entered.
Just ask one question or make some comment about how great our guests are and how weird your host is tonight. You're in, man. We got you in there. Hey, Aaron wants to say, I appreciate you guys and your knowledge. So do I, guys, man. These are already fantastic answers. I'm enjoying this so much. Chivo says, does boat traffic affect hooping? Will, too many
Yeah.
boats, does that equal
Definitely.
problems?
It's just like any other fishing. You get too many boats. It just makes the area really congested. People are dropping on top of each other. Some of the spots are only so big, right? So you get a couple of hoops on there and it just crowds it. I like to let's say I get to Catalina a little bit late and the area I want to go, I see 2 boats already hanging out there. I'm just going to, cruise down the island a little bit. And if you know what you're looking for, then you can find other structure in other places. So don't get so caught up in having to hoop one spot. You definitely want to not be dropping on top of a bunch of other hoops if possible.
All right, and same thing, Gil. Do you feel like
Yeah,
that boat pressure can
I do. Like this year.
Do you choose areas where you think the boat pressure will be less?
It just, I say this. I just did a seminar at Turner's right before the opener, and people are just so gung ho about the opener. And I try to explain to folks that like some of the best hooping is like later in the year, and
Absolutely.
and sometimes that's like a thing that people don't want to. It's like a secret. But like I just went out a few weeks after the opener, and there was like nobody on the water, and so I was planning on hooping the opener this year. I chose some overtime at work, which is probably wise, but it gets so congested. Like Will was saying, it's not even the fact that the hooping is bad, or it's the fact that you're a complete, like, it's a catastrophe sometimes. Like last year I lost a net. Prop got cut. People dropped. Then you got divers in the water, and it's just like we go till March, and like why this particular day?
Yeah.
Like why, like, and then another thing too is on those congested days, the openers days, you're gonna have, not this is a bad thing, game wardens out, right? You're gonna be watched, and so you're gonna have to make sure that everything we talk about today is gonna be proper and check marked. And so for me, I just like, Jim Salazar, he's the kind of guy that raised me in this all this thing. And every year I'd go to the opener, he's like, why are you hooping the opener? Stop hooping the opener, but it's fun. It's almost like you're guaranteed bugs, right? But you have to deal with the chaos, like Will said, of people dropping on you. And then everybody has the brand new buoy out there. It's white, right? So everybody's buoy's white, and everybody has like a mock, like this buoy here, like my buoy kind of looks like that. So it's like my buoy looks like everybody else's buoy. And so it's like, it's just chaotic, man.
People are pulling your hoops.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're getting caught in the prop.
Yeah.
it could get dangerous,
Yeah.
especially
Right, because
there's
this is all
divers in
going
the
on
water.
at night, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that adds a layer of danger to the whole thing from
Absolutely.
the very beginning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you can steer away from the boat pressure, somehow do it. However, sometimes that's where the best fishing is,
And
right?
but it's the thing too, is like they're always gonna crawl, right? It's like I've been doing this for so many years. Like I went out, I can't tell you how many times I've been out mid-season. Me and a buddy have the whole break wall to ourselves, and we have a limit in like 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, you can always choose to go away from folks. We had a guy last week. He was like policing the area. He's like telling her they can't drop their hoops at certain time, and like this is his area. Yeah. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, what has this world gotten to? Like monopolizing, like, and there's a whole break wall. There's bays. And just go find it. For me, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go. I don't want to deal with this. I'll just go find another area.
Yeah.
And there's always another area, and the lobster's always gonna crawl.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, if you do mean will tell you, and go to those structure spots, you're gonna find them.
Yeah.
You're gonna find the bugs.
Boy, I'll tell you, we have so many people watching, so many comments coming in. I deeply appreciate it. Hit that like button. Morning briefing tomorrow morning and Thursday. We're going to be over at Island Fishing Tqckle. Promar Ahi has another great lobster seminar we'll be covering for you also. We'll keep you in touch with all of that. And you two guys are freaking awesome. I am so grateful to have you here with us, because normally I got Brian and he doesn't know anything. So it's great to have you with us. I'm kidding. Brian's great. All right, let's see. I think we're Aaron here. Aaron's got a great question, guys. Do you recommend having hoops in the water before the tide rise, even if it's not 100% dark out? Gil, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, I say that I like dropping my nets, 20, 30 minutes before the sundown. Whether, that changing of the tide is always a great time. I freeze my bait, so like my bait thaws a little later. I like to go out there with the frozen bait. And so, but yeah, I think that as long as you get that bait in the water prior to sunset, it's going to be good for you.
All right, agree?
I agree. Sometimes I'm even earlier, depending on, as we just talked about the boat traffic. If there's a lot of boats, my hoops might be in the water an hour before
To
sunset.
lock up your
Yep.
good area?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Can you guys, somebody asked this question on one of our previous Lobster Chronicle shows. Can you catch lobster in the daytime? Have you ever dropped in the daytime and had a good pull?
I have actually not done it in the daytime, but
Yeah.
you absolutely can catch them
Okay.
during the day. I've seen it done. I know guys that do it. The success rate isn't the same. They're
Yeah.
not crawling, like that. But if you're right on top of the spot, you drop some bait down there, you can
They're
draw
going
them
to
out
come
possibly.
snooping out, huh?
I
Gil?
personally have never done it.
Yeah.
Never done it. Same with what I've heard of people doing it. I've caught them on line and hook, but
Yeah,
I've
right.
not caught them in a net. So, but yeah.
All right, good. Greg, David, what do you guys prefer for rigging your hoops? Promar leaded line or traditional line with a line weight? We'll let you start, Will.
I use lead core line always. So I hoop at Catalina, especially on the west end there. There could be, that current can rip a little bit, and I feel like the leaded line helps a little bit more.
So I personally am going to be experimenting with leaded line this year. I do everything off a kayak, a Hobie 14 Pro Angler. I do have a motor in my kayak, a Torpedo 1103, and so I'm with the traditional line. But I really want to try to get over. I was actually talking to the guys here about switching over to the lead. I had such a huge success rate. I fished it on boats before. I love it. I want to see how it works in shallower water. I'm hooping anywhere from 30 to 60 feet of water. Will's hooping a lot deeper. But I do want to get that stability of like seeing at the line, because it does sink quicker. It does. I want to know how it handles as far as being on a kayak. So for me, I haven't fished it yet, but I'm very interested to start fishing it.
All right, great stuff, you guys. Tremendous. I want to remind you all, you can go to promarahi.com and order right now. You can get your lobster hoop netting stuff. You can get all kinds of great lures for the bluefin and everything else. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get 15% off. Isaac joins us now. Good evening. Will the tide have an effect on your pots when you're dropping them? Any tips on setting your pots if there is a strong tide? Will, we'll start with you.
Yeah,
I think he's worried about like maybe the pot drifting off when you're dropping, or getting away from the structure you're trying to set up on, maybe.
So you always want to take into account the tide. You want tide's a good thing. We want moving water always, so that's going to help us to catch our bugs. But yeah, if that tide's rising, you want to drop a little bit of extra rope to account for that. And if it's going down, then you account for that you're going to have extra slack. So I think you always got to keep it in mind, but it won't change where I drop my pots or anything like that. I just leave a little extra rope or account for it that way.
Will?
Again, so great question.
Will. Gil?
A great question. Great question. If we know how to read tide, we'll know exactly what the tide is doing. So we know that if it's going to be a 5-foot swing, a 10-foot swing, that's never a 10-foot swing. If it is a 10-foot swing, let's get out there and start hooping. A 3-foot swing, right? So whether it's an incoming or outgoing, especially if it's an outgoing tide or rising, if it's a rising tide, you want to make sure, like Will said, exactly, give out a little extra rope. Now, how much rope are you going to give out? Well, that's going to be a numbers game of how you learn how to read tide, right?
Yes.
Well, the tide's going to move 4 feet in 5 hours. You're going to have to give it an extra 3 feet of rope, right? And vice versa the other way around. I was just out the other day, and I noticed that a lot of people are dropping their hoop nets and losing it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I find hoop nets out there all the time, and of course the buoy is cut because boats rip by and people aren't saying their buoy is right. And you notice that when the buoy flips over, it starts to bob. And when you start getting that bobbing on there, and especially if it's a rising tide, that buoy is going to be underwater about 2 feet in about 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And so, like Will said, always give a little extra out, but be cautious of how much you let out, because there's guys that let out like an extra 6 feet, and that's when the boats come by and cut your rope or cause some damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question on Instagram as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey Rago says, hooping etiquette, what is the universal understanding regarding distance kept by boat? So I'm assuming like, how far should you be from somebody else who's hooping?
All right, let me repeat that. Hooping etiquette, and they want to know when you're dropping your traps, your Promar gear, what is too close to be to another boat or another net? Like, you don't want to
This is
drop
a
right on
tough
top
one
of it.
because it's going to look a little bit different in every situation. I'll give an example, right? I'm hooping on a 23-foot Parker, right? But the gale force is, I don't know, 60 feet. I don't know the
Yeah,
the
that's
length
about
of it,
right.
right? And so if I'm hooping near the gale force, the distance between the hoops, or for them to be able to maneuver a little bit, is going to be a lot different than it is on my boat. Things like that. So in general, I just want to stay as far away as I can. But sometimes you want to hoop a specific spot, or they're crawling in a specific area, and you're working with another boat. So I say, what's far enough for you to be safe, for both boats to be safe, where the props aren't getting caught, your gear's not getting ran over, things like that, where you can safely, both people can pull up their hoops and not cause issues for each other.
Yeah, excellent. Gil?
100% agree.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Have you seen some good beefs out there about that kind of stuff?
I was out last week and I saw a beef, man, and it was like, to me, it's just like there's so much water,
Yeah.
And I get it. People want their spots. I couldn't agree with Will more about the length of the boat and trying to pull, and especially the stern of that boat swinging out and always having to watch a line. For me, it's a little different. I'm in a kayak, so I can kind of whip around things real quick. I can whip around people, but where I normally hoop, the boaters don't usually go in that close. They kind of stay a little further out.
Yeah.
And so, but I always have the etiquette. For me, I always have that COVID rule, man. It's like, I just don't want to I'd rather go somewhere and not cause a ruckus of something. And I'd rather have the etiquette of just like, because people know who I am.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing. Once they see me, they're like, hey, you're the guy, right? And so, and I try to be courteous. And again, it's a long season. And so, but I do understand the question of people wanting to know, like, this is not tournament fishing. I did tournament fishing for about 15 years. And so there's always etiquette and there's always rules about staying apart from somebody. Legally, you can drop right on top of somebody and it'd be, if you ask like a game warden, he's going to be like, oh, kick rocks. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to be, like Will said, hit it right on the head. Like, consider the length of your boat and other boats that are there, and just work with each other on the water.
All right.
I got another comment to add on that too,
Sure.
regarding etiquette. So I definitely, there's sometimes where I know I want to hoop a certain spot because I know that spot has been good, right? And if I get out there and there's another boat there, what I'll usually do for, like Gil said, people know who I am. So I definitely want to not burn bridges or not, come off a certain way. So I'll just cruise up to the boat nice and slow and just say, hey, I see you got pots here I want to drop to. I just want to let you know that I'm going to have some pots in the area, any issues, that kind of thing. It's not really asking their permission, but it's really just kind of just being nice, being a good guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then one other thing on etiquette too, like for divers, I was out at Catalina a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and I was the only boat in the area that I was in. I was there for probably about an hour and a half. A diver comes in, they park literally 10 feet from my hoop,
Ugh.
and then start diving. That's poor etiquette.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's any divers watching right now, but guys, it would help if you don't dive on top of the hoops, because that's tough for us boaters.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, I think it comes down to common courtesy almost.
Well, it's
doesn't
hard
it?
too. It's hard too because like you're hooping, and for me, I'm on a kayak, so I'm coasting my buoys, and you just see a bright light around your buoy, around your net, and you're like, guy's kind of close to my net, right? It's like, and then you just see the light move to all your nets, and you're like, is he like picking lobster out of my?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And he can say all day long that he's not, and then you go to the boat and you're like nice, and then not everybody's nice, right? And so you're just like, what do you do, right? Like, so that's the etiquette's huge with the divers. They can help you out too. Like, there's times where divers, I got a net stuck and they've gotten nets stuck from me. It goes both ways. They help out, but at the same time, it's like it's like you see a sea lion, it's like you see a diver, it's like, oh boy, here we go. Like, where is he going? What's he doing? He's basically a sea lion, right? And so it's like he's out here to ruin my night, you know. And sometimes they're nice and stuff, but if you go like Will said, and you talk to the boat like, hey man, can you like not shine your bright light around my hoop nets, you know? And hopefully it works out. But I've come across them a lot.
How about you? Have you seen some good beefs out there?
Oh, absolutely. There's always.
There's got to be some comical stuff. I mean,
there's guys pulling nets. There's guys that purposely try to run over someone's gear because they get upset. I've seen some crazy things out there, right? And yeah, you just don't want to deal with it.
No, man. Lobster wars. Go ahead, Brian. You got another question, it sounds like.
So Jay Poston said kayaks, unfortunately, it's like no etiquette. The dudes drop 3 to 4 feet from each other. And I think, Gil, since you're kayak, is that true? Like, do you see that kayaks are a little bit more aggressive?
Yeah, I would say.
So the question is, kayaks, are they more aggressive?
Yeah, we're known as a little brother of the industry, but we're a little aggressive. I would say that. I'd say that they, and I think the reason why is because they have more maneuverability, and they feel that they can kind of get in and out of things a little quicker. And I'm not going to speak for all kayakers. I only speak for myself, right? But I see it. Whoever that was.
Jay Poston?
Yeah.
Jay Poston.
I apologize. And so.
What did you do? You screwed Jay Poston?
Yeah, hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. Hopefully, get the guy a sticker or something. But yeah, I do see that a lot, kayakers, and but it's with a lot of people. I think in their, I don't want to defend that, but I think in their defense, they feel like they can get away with more because they're more maneuverable in the water.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it right, but they can get out. They feel, and I've seen it, and I'm agreeing with this guy 100%. I'm not disagreeing with him. They feel they can get out later because they can do whatever they want. Because they can get, like, they don't have a big boat. They can zigzag in between, and if you have a pot here and a pot here, well, they can drop it right in the middle because they have the accessibility to do that.
Yes.
And so I think, again, it's working with them, but everybody, if you're a Padres fan that night and they lose and you're just not having a good day, it's like everybody's on their own little show, so.
I'm glad you went to the sports analogy. It
Yeah.
gives me an opportunity to send my love to all the USC fans out there. I want to tell them how heartbroken I am that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish
Well,
stuck it to them. You're probably an SC fan, huh?
I'm a Clemson.
UCLA guy.
Oh, so you hate SC, right?
I'm a Clemson fan.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a
man.
Clemson fan.
There you go.
Go Tigers.
All right, you have a follow-up, Brian.
One more question.
Sure, we'll take everything you got.
Girl Got Bass says, best advice for first-time lobsters from a boat fishing in Long Beach and Newport. P.S. Love your gear.
Girl Got Bass with a great question. What was the question again? A first-timer, she's going out.
And what's the best advice that you guys have for somebody who's beginning to lobster fish in Newport and in Long Beach?
Newport, Long Beach, she's a first-timer. What advice would you give her?
I think everyone gets caught up on what spot do I go to? Where am I going to catch lobsters? And a lot of people do a lot of bass fishing. So I would say good advice is to start where you would bass fish. If those types of structures, things like that, it will help you catch some lobsters.
How about if I add something to it? And I think some good advice would be go with a guy like you or Gil your first time and ask 6 million questions and kind of figure it out. Once you get, I think, your feet wet that way, no pun intended, then I think you've got a good game plan. What do you think?
Absolutely. I just had a guy a couple weeks ago. He drove down from Sacramento, and he spent 3 days down here going out each day, just asking questions and really trying to learn the ropes. And he brought all his own gear. He was on his own boat, and I think I just jump on it, show him how to work it. So absolutely.
All right, same thing, Gil. I mean, somebody goes out with you and they want to learn for their novices. They have no idea. That's perfect.
Yeah, so we'll hit it on the head again. Bass fishing, you want to have food, current, and structure. Being a tournament bass, saltwater bass fisherman, fishing the tournaments for several years, we're looking for that food, that current, and that structure. The same characteristics of a calico bass and a sand bass as the same characteristics as a lobster. Now, people that go out for the first time, I say to them, you don't need to go big. And that means you don't need 5 nets. So the regulations, right? If you're hooping by yourself, you can do 5. 2 people, no more than 10. Take 3 nets. Take 2 nets. Take your time, pace yourself. A lot of times people pull up their first net, it's full of shorts, and they just get all discombobbled, and then by the time they end up throwing that net out, the other net is soaking for 20 minutes longer, and then they have 3 other nets out. And so it's like, just start small. You know, Will and I have been doing this a long time. I can throw 5 nets and work 5 nets like you would not believe. You know, like I just do it easily. And then when I had my boat, when I was fishing bass tournaments, I was guiding off my boat as well, so I can do the 10 nets as well. So I'm kind of know how to do it. You don't need 5 nets right off the bat. Just get started. You're going to eventually build up to it. And depending if you want to go with a 32 or a 36, I always tell people in a smaller boat, start with a 32. I hoop 36s off my kayak because I can handle it and I know how to pull, and I've been doing it for a long time. But first timers, definitely it's a structure thing. Definitely a structure thing.
And there's a million ways to skin a cat, right? And everyone has different experiences and different ways to go about things. So I would say I actually disagree with Gil a little bit. If you have the 5 nets, take them all. But what I love that Gil said is don't rush through it. Don't feel like, oh, it's already been soaking for X amount of time. I really got to get to the next one. If you're tangled up and you're, just trying to figure out, pulling up your hoop and dropping the next one, it's fine. Let it soak. But I think having the extra hoops gives you more of an opportunity to catch. And I want you to catch, whether I'm guiding for you or, even if you're just going out on your own, because when you catch, you'll be happy and you want to keep doing it. And it's a lobster hooping is a great and fun thing to do. So I think the extra hoops gives you that opportunity.
I hope you all are feeling as blessed as I am to have these 2 experts here in the ProMar studio. It is a great show. Thanks to all of you. $300 in prizes going out at the very end of the show. If you participated in the live chat tonight, you're eligible. So we can't wait at the end of the show. When we run out of questions, we're kind of shooting for like a 6:30 into the show. If we go a little bit longer, one of these guys are going to hit me over the head. So right around 6:30, we're hoping to give that away. And all you have to do is participate in the live chat. We've had great participation. Lobster Lisa is here, and she'll be ordering the new ProMar apparel, some more hoops. She's so excited for this live show tonight. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Greg, David, will you change any of your tactics on how you set up later in the year than you do at the beginning of the season? Gil, we'll start with you. Any different?
For me, I'm just going a little deeper. I'm just going deeper. Nothing really changes for me. I'm hooping in that 60 feet of water. Like I said, Will style fishing is a little deeper. He does little things different than I do off of like a skiff or a kayak. So I'm just going a little deeper, kind of rigging my stuff just to go, just to get more depth. That's about it.
All right. Anything with you? Do you look
pretty
at
much the same?
Yeah.
I'm hooping, especially at Catalina. I hoop anywhere from 10 feet of water to 200 feet of water. So later in the season, I go into that deeper water sometimes. Last year I didn't go deeper than 150, but some years it requires 200. So, like Gil said, just going a little deeper.
So how do you, when you first get out, how do you choose a depth? Like you go out and the lobster season's opening, what depth do you choose in your mind? What goes into that decision?
Just from years of experience, I start the season less than 50 feet. I don't typically go any deeper than that. And then as trips go on, as I start to see maybe less lobsters in those pools, I start to go deeper and deeper. And, I try to always, every trip, I go, I'm running a charter, so we're going with 10 hoops. I drop a couple hoops at different depths. I may know that, hey, the bulk of my hoops, 6 or 7 hoops might be 40 to 50 feet, but I may drop 1 or 2 in 80. I may drop 1 in 20. And just see what's happening around in different areas.
Well, that's really good advice. Same with you?
100%, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, all good stuff, you guys. All right, let's keep going here. Current Jam joins us, a huge Friedman Adventures family member. Thanks for being here. I love the lobster out here in the San Diego Bay. Some people say stay away from eating lobster caught inside the bays. Any thoughts on location changing the quality of your catch? Gil, we'll start with you.
I've
You think
never,
they're gonna,
I've never had
turn
a
green or something.
I've never had a bad lobster or like grew in a third arm or something from a Long Beach lobster.
Not yet, but there's still time.
I mean, maybe. I haven't yet. You know, I mean, lobster's lobster, man. I mean,
Are you glowing in the dark or anything from eating lobster at night?
If I am, I wouldn't mind it because they all taste the same.
yeah, exactly.
You know, I hear this question a lot about surf fishing. I hear it all the time. And I'll tell you, you go to the grocery store and get some processed food in a cereal box or something like that. That's going to screw you
lot
up
worse.
way more than
Absolutely.
something
Yeah.
caught in the wild, right?
Is that a little more butter to it?
Yeah. I love it, man. All right, let's go to Lisa. What size hoop do you recommend for inside the Long Beach Harbor? Will, we'll start with you.
So because I do a lot of hooping at Catalina, I'm always running the XLH, which is 36-inch heavy. But in the harbor, you could definitely get away with a 32 or just a regular XL, which is a 36. That's like 7. The XLH is 14 pounds. The XL is 7 pounds. So you could definitely get away with either of those. Depends on, like Gil was saying earlier, how big of a vessel are you on? If you're on a kayak, maybe you want, just the 32. If you're on a small skiff, maybe you want just the 32. But if you got the room, I like the 36.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, boys. Really
Yes.
good stuff. Brian's got a question. I'll repeat it when he lets us hear what it is.
So the question is, and I'm pretty sure it was just a typo.
Yeah.
What taxes would you guys use if you're driving a Sea-Doo Fish Pro due to the restrictions of driving at night, and how deep would you go? So I'm assuming taxes is what advice. So what advice would you guys have for somebody trying to hoop off of a Sea-Doo? And obviously you guys know the restriction. You can't use a Sea-Doo at night.
You can't use a Sea-Doo at night.
All right, hooping on a Sea-Doo.
Unless
Yeah.
you, I mean, you can hoop in a day in a Sea-Doo, but you can't. I have a gentleman who's actually a close friend who actually bought a Sea-Doo, who he's probably listening, for hooping, and then realized after he bought it that he couldn't hoop at night on it. So
And another one to add on to that. So Jay Poston asked this one specifically for Gil, because he's a kayaker. He goes, question for Gil. In the winter months, I typically take a break from the kayak because it's so cold. They move deeper to spawn, or will they stay close to the rocks? I go out of King Harbor, he said.
Jay Poston's out of Redondo. He wants to know in the wintertime, it gets really cold. He takes a break, but do those fish move out in deeper water?
they
or what?
do,
Or
but you'll still get the lobsters in that 45 to 60 feet. I mean, of course, the island's going to be the place to go. I'm catching bugs all year, and I'm catching them still in that. I still catch them in that 45, 50 feet and that 60 feet of water. It is cold, definitely cold. I mean, it's like you got to have your foul weather gear. You gotta definitely bring your coffee and your thermos, and you gotta time it right because you're gonna get rained on. And lobster hooping it's not a comfortable game. You're wet all the time. It's like, and so you kind of have to know what you get into. I mean, it's like duck hunting. It's like you're gonna get wet, you're gonna get muddy, you're gonna be tired. It's like we do, and I think that's the part of the game that we love chasing. It is that it is at night. It is cold. Not everybody can do it. I mean, you tell your buddies in the coffee shop or at work, you're like, I was hooping last night till 3 a.m. They think you're like the greatest man in the world, right? They're
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like, you're soaking wet, man. They think you're like the greatest catch, like catching crab in Alaska or something. But yeah, I still hoop during the winter time. I think those are the best months. Around December, January, even into March. It's like, and I think love it because there's not a lot of folks out there, because a lot of people, just like this gentleman said, they kind of give up. And that's when the bugs are out there, man. So get out there in those times.
I love the end of the season way more than the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Do you?
Why?
Everything Gil just said. Yeah. In previous years, I wouldn't start my lobster charters until like November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just don't deal, especially if the tuna were around or I was doing other charters. I would kind of focus on that. But it's just too many people, too much chaos, all those things. And as Gil has said many times, it's so good throughout the season. So I just wait until then.
All right. Excellent stuff, everybody. Up in Ventura, UC Graham says, man, we got guys dropping on one another. It gets freaking crazy up here. But he says the lobster hoop netting's been really, really good up there. I know David Rosenthal from Angler Pliers, he said it's been off the hook up there. He's had really, really good stuff. Current Jam says, aside from break walls, what do you look for when you're going to drop your hoop nets? We'll start with you, Gil.
So I look for. I'm a traditional calico bass, sand bass fisherman, tournament guy, out looking for structure. Whether it's a reef, whether it's a break wall, whether it's a sandy bottom to a small rock the size of this table, and that's when it gets into like knowing your fish finder or having an app that can navigate you to those areas, because a lot of people think like all the structure is just on a break wall or it's just on a reef or something, but there is a lot of artificial structure out there that people don't know about, and until you have an app like a Navionics app or something like that, then and we have on our social media page, or actually on our website, we actually have promoahi.com on how to navigate Navionics and how to use it from your smartphone. Even if you don't have a fish finder, you can actually find structure out there, different spots in the ocean, in the harbor, or wherever it may be, so you can find these areas to hoop.
Yeah, Navionics. How important is that? Is that a tool that...
It's crucial.
Yeah.
It's so important. And like Gil was saying, that the app is, you could take it everywhere. So if you're going on a buddy's boat and maybe his electronics aren't as good as your electronics on your boat, as long as you have that app on your phone, you could still, have all your spots saved. You can, have the relief shading is a game changer.
Oh, yes.
If you don't have the relief shading, I don't know how we did it before, but it just makes
right?
it so easy.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, this spot right here, that's perfect. I'll drop it right on top. It's like, it's dummy proof. It really is. And I'll add too, like I drop, against a lot of kelp lines. There's lobsters in eelgrass. There's, a ton of different places. So it's not just the wall.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Marco Farrell says, great info. He said good info, but I thought great sounded better. And he wants to know how to get in the raffle. Marco, you're in the raffle because you made a comment here in the live chat. $300 where the prize is going out at the end of the show tonight. All you have to do is participate in the live chat, and then we're going to randomly draw 4 winners. Yeah, we've got 4 winners. 2 gift cards, $100, $50, and then some brand new, beautiful Pro Mar apparel that you're absolutely going to love, man. Here's some of it right here, and we'll be giving that away in just a little bit at the end of today's show. Dan Lightfoot joins us. Always good to see him. Good evening, fellas. I'm dropping your nets by the breakwater, inside or outside. What do you recommend? So Dan is going to walk out on the break wall like a crazy man, because he's very crazy, man. Have you ever seen this guy? Big old mustache. I yank on it for good luck all the time. Ask him. What should he do? Inside or outside, or does it make a difference?
So inside the wall, I like to work the points, around the lighthouse, things like that. But inside the wall is going to be a better option, just because outside the wall is open to commercial hoopers or commercial lobster fishermen. And it's hard for a recreational hooper to compete with those traps that are sitting out there for so long.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Me and we're like on the same page with a lot of this stuff. So it's
and it's great. And if you do disagree, that's also
it's great.
It's all
I
good stuff, man. Just getting this from you two experts is really great, and everybody out there is totally enjoying this. So am I. Aaron says, what bait is recommended? Use fresh sardines, smashed up, and has been very successful. Haven't had the best of luck with frozen old bait. Why don't you start, Will? What bait, if you had your choice on a given night, are you going to take and use?
My number one bait that I'm going to choose over anything is always going to be fresh mackerel. The bait I use the most is fresh sardines. But frozen bait works great. I use frozen bait often. It's just a matter of how that frozen bait was kept. Was it just thrown in some random bag and it's all freezer burnt and not really that good? Or did you properly seal it up and it's good and it holds its scent and all that stuff? So you use what you got. I like fresh bait, especially being on the boat and running a charter. It's, makes sense for me to go over to the barge and get a couple scoops for each trip. I know it's not feasible for everyone, so you could use your dead bait. Just make sure you save it properly.
Gil, what's your favorite bait?
I agree. Mackerel is my number one go-to bait right now. I can't catch a mackerel right now, and the water is not fishing for the life of me. I don't know what it is. I could catch a bass. I just cannot catch a mackerel. So I've been having to go to the Asian markets and buying mackerel.
Yeah.
And so what I like to do is since I can't get it fresh, because I like to catch all my bait fresh usually, and I usually do very well in the sabiki rods that we have here, or just a strip of squid while I'm pulling nets. I usually get a load of mackerel. I will do what I call is meal prepping. So what I do is I take mackerel and I soak it in bite-on. And then I put that either in one of our cages, and then 2 of the cages hold a 1-gallon Ziploc bag, and I prep them. I'm like Will, I don't like to let those go too far. Like I don't like to let them sit in a freezer for a year. I like to plan out, hey, I'm going next week. Let's go buy bait or make bait or have it ready for it. So like everything for me is prepped up and marinated in a bite-on scent. And like I said, to each to their own. To each to their own, you know, to each to their own. I love it. I know Will uses it as well.
Absolutely.
And I swear by the stuff. I love it. And yeah, it's great.
All right, good stuff. Programming note, on Wednesday we will be live over at Island Fishing Tqckle with Tackle Shop Confessions, which normally airs during this time. Then on Thursday, back at Tackle Shop Confessions with another Promar Ahi lobster hoop netting seminar that you can all participate in. And at the end of the show, when we're not on camera, I'll grind on Brian for some good raffle prizes for the Thursday show also. So we'll see how that works out. Israel de la Cruz joins us. He just wants to say good evening. Is it good to see you, my friend? Let's see, Saltwater Anglers already asked the same question we just answered, but you're in the raffle now, that's for sure. Richard Hughes, who is writing a Lobster Chronicle song as we speak, says, great show. Chivo, who's a fantastic Friedman Adventures family member, says, how far up the coast are spiny lobsters? Any experience, luck in Santa Barbara Harbor or up there on the Breakwell? Gil, we'll start with you.
I personally have never hooped that far. I don't know if Will has, so I can't speak for it. You know, I've done like the San Pedro area. I've done the Seal Beach area, Dana Point, Newport, San Diego, but I haven't gone past that. So.
Yeah, I wish I could help you, but I don't have the answer to that one either.
I get reports all the time that it's good up there. Exactly where, whether it's on the Breakwall or whatever. But those guys up in Ventura and up there in Santa Barbara, I know. I don't know how far north spiny lobsters are caught. I mean, are they caught in Alaska?
I don't.
Somebody just got one recently in San Francisco by the Golden Gate Bridge.
Brian
There you
says
go.
somebody caught one by the Golden Gate Bridge.
There you go.
That is a very interesting question out there, everybody. And if you can answer it and provide us with the answer, you'll get absolutely nothing. But we would love to know. So try that out.
Chat
All right.
GBT. Chat GBT.
There you go. I know somebody's already all over that right now. Let's see. Twong, is it? How do we get in the raffle? You're already in, my friend. All you have to do is ask a question. Current Jam, what do you do when divers start getting close to your nets and start shining lights into them? It seems to be a thing nowadays. Yeah, what do you do? Do you confront them? Obviously, you can't confront them.
We kind of went over this question at the very beginning about etiquette.
Yes.
And I think that's a thing where you just go up to that boat and just kindly ask them, like, hey, I noticed you're kind of man my nets and just want to make sure we're working together on the water. And I don't think it's a time to like swear and make a big scene, but just let them know, hey, I observed that your lights are in the midst of my hoop nets. Can we work together to where that's not happening? And hopefully they work with you.
Yeah. What do you think? You got to be courteous.
Pretty much all I could do is, running a charter. We don't want to get into any altercations on the water or things like that. When it happened to me a couple weeks ago, I just saying
You got into an altercation?
Yeah.
Can you do me a
I'm
favor? I'm concerned about you, but videotape that and send it to me.
Okay.
I can turn that into 1 million views.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, I definitely I cruised over to them. There was 2 guys, so no one was on the boat. Both guys were in the water. And I just, kept some distance, right, for the boat and whatnot. But I was like, hey, guys, what's going on? Like, I was here, way before you. There's so much time or so much space on the island. Like, why do you got to be right here? And they wanted to kind of argue a little bit. I just decided to drive off and let it be.
Probably the best thing, right? It's kind of like cops nowadays. They're trained to de-escalate things, and that's probably good advice no matter where you are. Because you never know. You could have some nut that, who knows? They can get carried away.
Exactly.
Speaking of nuts, Brian has another question.
I have one. I have one
That took
question
you a while to
actually
catch that.
for myself.
Yeah.
Somebody recently recently told me that the current plays a big factor into it because when the current's ripping, or if the current's moving faster than I think they said like 1 point something knots, they were very specific. The debris that gets pushed through the bottom of the ocean, so the lobsters tend to not want to crawl. So it's actually better to go when there's less current and less tidal movement than when there's a lot of tidal movement.
Better to go.
Is that accurate or is that not accurate?
So Brian's question is: better to go lobster hooping when there is a lot of current or a little current? Who did I ask last? I forget. Gil, go ahead. Start.
I'm a current guy. The more, the merrier.
Okay.
To me, this, and I've never seen and I hoop pretty close to break walls. I've never seen like anything crazy as far as garbage or anything like that. And I've noticed that on the bigger tide swings that I do a lot better. And when I say a lot better, I mean just movement of lobster, whether that's tons of short lobsters or illegal lobsters. I've never had a problem myself with it.
Current.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're fishing, I know from the fishing perspective, you don't have current, you're not getting bit.
Exactly.
Is it the same?
We always want current, and especially like hooping the west end of Catalina, there's so much current on that end of the island, and it's usually always over 1. So 1 point whatever that number was, I haven't seen that to be detrimental to me at all.
Okay. That was a good question.
Good luck on ending this
Good
show at
question.
6:30. I think there's another 25 comments already and questions. We're going to keep it going here. Darren is joining us right now, and he says hello, and he is currently inside the harbor right now. So he wants to know, man, I'm driving inside the harbor. Where is hooping legal? Is it legal throughout the harbor or what? Start with you.
Okay, so there's definitely spots that are not legal to hoop in the harbor. It's hard to point that out right now, but if you have things like your Navionics app, there are some also some book charts that you can buy, or just go onto the DFG website.
Yep.
I think the hardest part about Will and I when we come on shows like this, or we're big seminar speakers,
Yeah.
is that we don't want to represent the law. Like it's like the regulations are for the angler to know, and we can give people pointers and stuff. But I think it's most importantly for that person that's hooping to know the regulations before they go out. And so this is where we talk, Will and I in our seminars, we talk about a game plan. And I think it's important to have a game plan to know before you get on the water, like what is legal to hoop, what is not legal to hoop. Do your homework to that you're having the best night of your life on the harbor, and you're not second guessing yourself when it comes to measuring lobster, where it comes to regulations, where it comes to closures, that before you go out into the water, prior to that day, all your homework is done, and that's the best advice that we can give people.
Yeah, I think so. And regs change, right? So
Exactly.
you need to stay abreast of what is legal, what's not legal. Make sure you've got your lobster report cards, all that. We may be able to get into that. However, we got so many
Yep.
questions. Go ahead.
And if you're online, I mean, after you finish watching this show, of course, but I would say, take a minute before you drop your hoops and look it up
Yeah,
so
for
that
sure.
you know that you're in a good spot and won't get in any trouble.
All right. Hey, once again, we much hit that like button. Make sure you go to the promarahi.com website, put in FA at checkout, and you'll save 15 big percentage dollars off your order. And Darren says, Brian, big Promar order coming up here really soon. Lisa wants to know what's your favorite lobster recipe. How do you like to eat langosta?
I love to grill it. I'll butterfly it open and right on the grill, shell side down, some butter and, whatever seasoning you like. I like a little paprika. Yeah, that's my favorite. I love it grilled.
What do you say?
So last night, it's funny you made this question pop. So I'm like Will, I'm a grill guy. But my kids, they, I don't know what it is with shells. They're just like, my kids are older too, by the way. They still act like babies. But the shell in itself is like really presentable, but they're just like trying to finger through it. And so I've been pulling it out. And so last night I like soaked it with like a stick and a half of butter in a pan. So like pull it out of the shell with some Boston seasoning, and some little light pepper, little paprika, and just kind of turn it over, like I'm frying an egg. Oh man, it was so delicious.
Man, that sounds so good.
It's on my Instagram. And I look at it, you drool the whole time. But
Brian wanted to kill me when I said I microwave it sometimes.
Oh,
You wanted
can microwave the
the
legs.
legs, like
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
they good that way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really?
And if you just do one at a time, the meat pops right out. So
Ooh.
good to eat.
for the bigger
Man.
bugs, yeah.
Yes, sir,
There are
Brian.
also live on the Your Saltwater Guide thing. So if somebody asked where are they submitting questions, I just want to let them know they can submit questions
Yes.
there, and I will read it out.
All right, excellent. That's our buddy Dave Hansen on our saltwater guide. So happy to have his great audience here with us tonight.
And
All
I
right,
have another question.
go ahead, Brian.
Daniel Brose 93. What advice do you have to find a better spot? I've used Navionics and side view to find structure with little success. How many sets would you stick out at a spot until you try a different area?
All right, so Brian wants to know, how do I find another spot? Man, I've been dropping on this same spot. It's not productive. I want to find a better spot. Gil, what does he do?
Well, I think there's a lot to this, and there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to lobster hooping. I know Dave has great resources on his page as far as your saltwater guide, as far as where to go and where to place, and he does great for the community as far as getting people out there and getting them structured spots. Being a traditional bass guy, like I said, I'm just always trial and error. You know, I always try to find my own stuff. You know, I do find out that the honey hole is everybody else's honey hole, you know, and I'm always trying to kind of get away from that game. Unfortunately, the blessing behind this is that the more homework you do for this gentleman right now, sooner or later, he's going to come across his spot. And that's going to be his spot, right? Not everybody else's spot. It's going to be his personal spot. And you do the homework, you get rewarded. It's just like with anything. So it's a lot of trial and error. I mean, Will and I could tell you stories. I've been doing this for 15 plus years, lobster hooping, and it's like there's days where I went out and didn't pull up a thing, and then I just keep moving down the line, and trying to figure. And then finally, I find the honey hole, right? And now these are spots I guide on, and so that's for my personal opinion. So.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about relief shading on the Navionics, so I don't know if you have that, but I would definitely pay
Explain
for
to
it.
everybody what that is exactly.
So when you look at a navigational chart, you just see, you can see contour lines, but essentially it's very basic. It's a white map and a couple contour lines. The relief shading adds different colors that show you the depth, that show you, is it hard bottom, is it not, and it exactly where the structure is. So it's no guessing, and you use that along with your depth finder, and it kind of takes the guessing out of where you're going to drop your hoops. So that's definitely a tool. And as Gil was saying, explore. Especially if you got 10 hoops, if you're on a boat, maybe you drop 8 in the spot and you maybe drop 2 in different places and explore. Before I was chartering and a lot of recreational hooping, I did a ton of that. I would always drop someone in a hoop in a new place and just see what happened.
Yeah, and I think having a GPS on your kayak, on your boat, and just making notations on your kayak or your boat, on your fish finder, depth finder, and just saying great spot, not good spot. Lobster hooping is a documentation game. It's all about numbers. It's all about documenting. That's why a lot of us number our floats, because each float tells a story, when it's in the water. And so if all your floats look the same, you're not gonna know what float did better than the other float, So you can actually document number 1 had lobster in it, number 2. But if all your buoys look the same, it's like you're kind of getting the same advice, the same research from everything. So.
And another quick thing on that too, what's happening in the water around you. So maybe it's not the spot, but maybe it's just slack tide right now and there's no water movement. I've had many times on charters where I tell a client, hey, this set probably won't be that good, but the next set I know is going to hit. And they're like, oh, wow, you really know this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, there's no water movement right now.
Yeah.
So.
All right, yes, Brian, another question.
Sorry, yeah.
No problem.
So Jim Wilson 1137 says, are you better on boat or on a beach? And does the moon cycle affect the crawl? Says Mahood 77.
Jim Wilson wants to know, are you better to be on a boat or
Or
can
on
you
land.
go out on a pier or go out on the break wall? And what's the moon phase effect on that?
So we talked a little bit about the moon phase earlier, where especially if you're close to land, there's already so much light coming from land that it's not a huge effect. And then, being on a boat, being on a kayak, it just gives you so much opportunity to explore different places. If you're on land, you can only go so far. That's kind of that.
Yeah, you can hoop a pier. You're limited to 2 nets on a pier. Will was saying the more nets you have on a boat, if you go with 2 guys, the maximum nets you have is 10. Kayak if you're by yourself, or on a boat you get 5. And so I agree with Will. It's like getting into that deeper water. I mean, when I say deeper water, anything, 30 feet and above, to kind of try to get a shot at these things.
All right, Daniel Salazar points out there's a problem sometimes with guys shining super bright lights on other boats. So
Yeah.
I guess that goes into the courtesy thing again, right?
Yeah, and I think, again, when it comes to lobster hooping, there's like, Will and I have been doing this for a while, and you kind of get a lot of these questions that are like recycled questions, they kind of just come back, but they're just phrased differently. It's all down to courtesy, and a lot of times you think, is that person really shining the light at me, or are they just trying to find their buoy? And it's just, I'm on the other side of the buoy, And I think a lot of times we don't think that way because we don't think like the other way around. Like, well, maybe he's looking for something. We always think like, he's shining that light in my eyes on purpose because he wants to jump on my boat and fight me because he knows I have more lobster. And it's just that competitive nature of the sport,
Absolutely. Bow line sport fishing. Best advice is to go and have fun. Man, that's the best advice on any sport
Absolutely.
fishing trip,
Yes.
right? Because you put too much emphasis on, I'm only going to have fun if I make a catch. You're going to have so many bad trips in your life that it's unbelievable. However, if you say to yourself, I'm just going to go out there and have a really good time, enjoy the outdoors, away from the phone, away from all the crap,
100%.
you're going to have every single trip's going to be a good one.
I think what you have when it comes to any type of fishing is you have like these OCD fishermen, right? And they're just like, they gotta know like the exact water movement. They gotta have the right bait, the portion. They have to have it all. The moon has to be right, and you hit it right on the head. It's just like, let's just have fun. Like, let's just go put the phone away. Let's have fun. Let's get some bugs. Let's make a night of it, and let's have a blast.
All right, perfect. Robert Graver says, good afternoon, Phil, Will, Gil, and the Friedman Adventures family fanatics. What a great Lobster Chronicles special show. Robert, thanks for joining us. Lisa says, make sure everyone has their own lobster gauge for an extra for backup. That's something you got to have, right? Lobster gauges
Absolutely.
for everybody.
I run a 6-pack, but I keep 10 gauges on me anytime because one gets dropped in the water or someone sticks one in their pocket, goes home with it. Always need extras.
Yep.
All right, Aaron says, make sure to use mango kern juice, everyone. Maybe when making your ceviche or something, huh? Sounds pretty good to me. Bow line fishing outdoors. Some better advice, don't use any additive scents like lobster attractant. It's a gimmick. Just use fresh fin bait.
Yes.
Any comment there, boys?
Yeah, I say there's a million ways to skin a cat, right? And some people like it, some people don't. Gil and I both like to use Bite On. There's other guys, other charters that don't. And that's perfectly fine. But yeah, to each their own, what works for you. And yeah, go with it.
Isaac says, how long do you let the pots soak? Gil, start with you.
I like to do 20-minute soaks, 25-minute soaks, depending on the tide. And if it's a little slower tide or they're not crawling as much, I'll go 30 to 40 minutes. That's for me personally, but usually the crawl is pretty good, and I'm doing that 25-minute. But again, if you have your 5 hoop nets out and you get your bugs in the first net, you're calling through them, you're measuring them, you're doing all your thing, you're drifting off. By the time you get to your next net, like you add another 5 minutes. By the time you get to your next net, it's another 5 minutes. So by the time you pull in number 5 or number 10, you're actually like sometimes an hour into it, And so, but I like to stick with that 25-minute, 30-minute rule.
Darren wants to know, is there anything like, can you soak your net too long? Is there, like if you leave it too long, what are the adverse possibilities?
So just as easy as those lobsters crawl in, they can crawl out. So definitely don't want to soak it too long. Also, you're missing opportunity, I think, if you leave it down there 2 hours. So I would pull it, drop it right back in that spot if there's lobsters there. Or let's say they're not crawling in that area. Do you want to wait 2 hours to find that out, or do you want to find that out in an hour? Yeah. So I typically start with an hour soak, and then, yeah, as long as it takes me to get through my 10 hoops is how long I do each set after that.
All right, good stuff. Hey, remember, $300 worth of prizes going out. You have to be here. We're going to call your name out if you're the winner, and then you have to jump on the live chat. You have a 1-minute time period to respond and say, here I am, I won thank you so much. You don't have to say thank you, but just say that you're here, and then you win. If you don't respond in that 1 minute time period, then we move on and draw again. All you have to do is leave a comment in the live chat, as so many of you have done already, and then you are in the drawing. Brian Sanchez with another question.
No, just gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try to fly through more questions. So maybe Gil answers one, then we'll answer.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah,
Okay.
because
We have a lot.
we got a lot of people watching, and you guys are a hit, man. Let me tell you.
Wow, it's awesome.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
They actually know what they're talking about.
That's
I'm
right.
on it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
me
know.
too. You know, I go on, nobody watches.
We have people in the comment section giving us answers.
All right, yes, this is really, really great
Yes.
stuff, you guys. We really appreciate it. We're going to speed it up a little bit and just go back and forth with our two experts here tonight. So let's keep this rocking and rolling.
I have one question here. From
Go ahead.
everybody. Sorry. Mahout says, do sea lions eat the lobsters? They seem to be all over our hoops in the harbor.
Do sea lions eat the lobster?
So I have seen sea lions eat the lobsters, especially when we throw shorts back. I've seen them crunch them up.
Yep, I've seen the same thing.
All right, camera active live. Is that what it is? Hey, Phil, dropping off something for you at Island Tackle. Just got off a 3.5 day on the horizon. I hope you had a great trip. I know that bluefin bite is really good right now, and it's close to home. It sounds like it's been fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll look forward to your special gift over there at Island Fishing Tqckle. I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. Current Jam, do you guys use oils with your smash bait?
Yes, I do. I do, and like I said, to each to their own. I'm a big fan of the Bite On product, and it's funny because my face is actually on the bottle of Bite On now, and it hasn't always been on the bottle. So just want to make sure everyone knows that. But I've been blessed to be on the bottle now because I've been such a big fan of it for basically ever since it came out. But I'm a big fan of marinating my bait in it, soaking my bait in it, and even through the night as your bait gets ghosted, which is called some of the flavor comes out. Of course, putting the bait cage over the boat and spraying the bait cage into the water, or spraying the trap into the water. It works wonders for me. I know Will loves it as well, but it works wonders for a lot of folks out there. And like I said, again, to each to their own. Everybody has their way of doing things, and my way may not be your way, but that's what makes fishing fishing. I guess that's the great part about fishing.
Absolutely. Tuong has a question. I'm trying to understand it. I think it is, do you have any specifications regarding your crab net, or do they have to be a certain design? And I'm assuming Promar takes care of all of that for you.
If you buy a Promar hoop net, Promar sets the standard for all lobster gear, and if you buy a Promar hoop net, it meets all the specifications.
So
Yes.
there is a max amount of length, a depth that a hoop net can have, and there's a max amount of width. The width is maxed out at 36 inches, and the depth, I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, but there's a max.
All right, so yeah, he was just giving us the dimensions, but the important thing to know is that Promar's got that covered for you. You buy a Promar net and you're good, you're
Yep.
legal, you're ready to rock and roll. Aaron, what do you guys think about lobster logs? Haven't had the best of luck with them.
So I have never used a lobster log. I'm actually really curious. I'm an industry guy. Like, I love talking to people about their products and their designs. I do believe when it comes to, I've been tournament fishing my whole life, and there's a lot of criticism that comes from products and stuff. But what I want to respect with the lobster log is sometimes the biggest critics come from the cheapest seats in the house. And I think that a lot of people put time and effort into like something like a lobster log, and I'm not going to downplay it until that it might have taken that person 10 years to create that lobster log. And I want to give them the credit to say, hey, how did you design it? Or let me have one to try it, you know? When it comes to scents and when it comes to lobster logs. So I personally never tried it. I would love to have a conversation with these people.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
So-
and give them a shot, you know?
I know
That's
we're
very fair, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because I know we're trying to alternate, but really quick, I have used the lobster logs, and I've pulled many limits off of the lobster logs, so they're great. You just got to know how to use them. The first time I went out and used them, I actually let them thaw out a little bit too much, and then so by like my second soak, I had no more bait because they were a little too thawed. So you want it kind of frozen when you put it in the loop and when you put it in the bait net, and then throughout the night it will, what am I trying to say
Thaw.
here? It will thaw. There
Thaw.
we go. Thank you.
I'm a thaw guy too,
Yeah.
so I'm thawing all the time.
Brian Sanchez.
Yes, Richard Monte says, what are some ways you guys attach the floats? Do you have the extra line before or after the float? Now, I know both of you guys have your specific way of doing it.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to get two answers
wanna
here.
get
You're,
both
you're
answers.
violating your own
I am
product.
violating.
Yeah,
How do
so-
you attach the floats, Richard
So,
Monte?
so
wants
for
to
me
know?
personally, I can't have a lot of line management in my kayak because I literally would kill myself and drown. So I have everything on an extension cord winder. Now, if I know that I'm hooping certain depths, like if I'm going to be hooping strictly 30 feet, I can actually cut the 30 feet and have the line hanging out. But for me, line management is very critical because I'm in such a small space and I'm not really managing that much line. So I use a extension cord winder to and I mark my rope every 5 feet with a zip tie, so I know how much line I'm pulling out, and I can actually use it as a cleat to stop it and start it.
All right, and Will, you have a different way of doing it,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm mostly hooping Catalina. I do hoop a lot of the harbor also, but like we talked about earlier, having a game plan is so important. So before I go out, I typically know around what depth I want to hoop. And all of my ropes are set to different footages. So I have 50-foot ropes, I have 100-foot ropes. And depending on where I want to hoop, I will set up my gear with the appropriate rope. And then I put them on extension cord winders to wind up any slack if I need.
I got two
Brian,
questions.
yeah, two questions. We have another 30 here to go, so go ahead, man.
So sorry.
Very
so
popular, boys.
Richard says the winder. Do you put that before the float? Like obviously it goes line, winder, then float, or are you doing line, float, winder?
Line, winder, float, or float, winder, line, or
So
whatever it is.
the first thing I could say is if you go to our research page at promarahi.com, we talk about this in a lot of our videos. But for me, it goes, I have the extension cord winder, and then at the back end of the extension cord winder, I keep like an extra 3 feet, and that's where I put my buoy on the back side of it.
And then I have Bryce Santee here who says, is it best to thaw out your frozen bait before stuffing it in the cage, or do you let it thaw out in there?
Bryce Santee wants to know, thawed out the bait or not?
Yeah,
It's
it's
so bad it just died on him.
so if it's a lobster log, then you definitely you can let it thaw out in the cage. If you're chopping up your bait, then you want to thaw it out a little bit more ahead of time.
All right, there you go. Let's keep rocking and rolling here, gentlemen. We have this could be a 4-hour show tonight. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Look at Phil. He's like, it better not be. You promised me. Thanks for all the great participation, the great questions. You all are making this show fantastic, along with our two great experts tonight. It really has been great. We're going to keep rocking and rolling, and that big raffle or giveaway at the very end. All right, Aaron says he's got a friend who's a marine biologist. He's done water tests in San Diego Bay. It is really good. We've already kind of talked about the etiquette master, so we'll move on from that. Aaron says Promar 36XL. Master says that he was told 100 yards between pots at least. Will, 100 yards?
No, it does not have to be that. It's what works for that situation. How small of a spot are you hooping on? The spot might not be 100 yards.
Marco Farrell says, I number my buoys so I can keep track of where I am in my set. Not a big deal, but with 5, when fishing, 10 can be easy to skip a net, especially if fishing structure versus a linear break wall. So he numbers everything so he knows 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. Oh, shoot, I'm on 5. I missed one.
I've been numbering things for years. It's the way to go.
Good idea.
Yes.
All right. Do currents vary at different depths, 50, 100, 200? How can you determine the current at different depths? Is that a factor?
Current does vary in different locations. It's kind of hard to determine it ahead of time until you get there.
Okay. That's good. Good enough to me. Aaron says, all right, 40 yards is good. According to him, Robert Graber, make sure to take a pen, Sharpie, that will write on that damn lobster card. Is that important?
Yeah, I would say not just one, but several. I would say to have a slew of pens on you because they're not always going to work.
Jolene Thompson is a great Friedman Adventures family member. Hi, guys. Is lobster fishing better during a big swell? And do you have a lobster charter for 4? Great new show. Phil, thank you, Jolene, so much. Who did I leave off with?
That would be a Will question.
Yes, Will.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jolene wants to know, is it better with a big swell lobster fishing? And do you have charters for 4 people
Yes.
available?
Absolutely, I have charters with 4 people available. You can find me on Instagram or my website and message me there. Big swell can make it tough sometimes. We do want water movement, so we want a little swell helps sometimes, but a big swell can make it a little bit tougher on occasion.
All right, very good. Jolene, it is so nice to have you with us tonight. A lot of people saying hi to Brian. Brian has a question out there. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, sorry, Bryce. My phone died when you guys were answering Bryce's question. So this was about the thawed bait or the non-thawed bait.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. One more time again.
Yeah, if you're using the lobster log, you can let that thaw in your bait cage a little bit. If you're using frozen sardine or mackerel, you want to thaw it a little bit more so you can chop it up and before you put it in your bait cage.
$300 worth of stuff going to be given away at the end of the show. All you have to do is participate in the live chat, and then you're in. I probably should stop saying that because we're getting way more questions all the time. But that's what this is all about. Deeply appreciate your participation here tonight. It's what's keeping our show rocking and rolling here. Steve O'Fishing, what are some of the things guys should change if it's not happening for them that night, and why? What do you do, man? They're not crawling? You're not catching anything?
Well, definitely bait change is important. Bait change is important. Adding more scent to your bait. Whether it's, I like to use the bite-on cloths as well. You're not necessarily using the spray, but I like to use the cloths as well. There's many things you can do. You actually soak the bite-on in a sponge, and you can put it in your bait cage. Again, to each to his own on that. I would say moving the nets around, trying different areas, and some nights it just ain't crawling. You just have to say, hey, this is our night where we can just hang out and we're not working, we're putting the phone away, and we're just out here doing what we love.
Yep. Aaron says late winter is best. Gruden slicks and bundle up plus warm coffee. Man, warm coffee, that sounds good to me. What do you think about lobster logs? We already got that question. How have you ever hooped around Imperial Beach? Either one of you two guys?
I have not hooped down there.
I have not.
All right. That was easy.
I have another one here.
Go ahead.
Is there a way to track the depth of lobsters based on the time of the season? Early season in shallow water, late season deep water? Where they want to know, do you guys know if they're shallow to begin and then move deep and then come back shallow, or how does it typically work for the season?
For me, I typically I start shallow during the beginning of the season and start to go deeper. Will, of course, can chime on this. He's going a lot deeper than I am, but I'm kind of going back and forth throughout the year. But I'm hooping 60 to 25, 25 to 60. I'm not doing anything too crazy.
Yeah, Will, he's violating his own rule here, by the way. Make sure that only one guy answers the question. Then he's out there pointing at you. We're going to throw you out of here pretty soon. We're good. Go ahead.
Definitely, I hoop from 20 to 200 or 10 to 200, depending on time of season. Later in the season, I do hoop a lot deeper. And then, towards the very end of the season, sometimes I come shallower. It all depends. There's lobsters in all the places. You just got to move around.
All right, very good. Let's see. Aaron wants to know what sabiki rigs do you recommend for mackerel? You guys have those sabiki rods, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's one right there. Yeah, I can see it. There's the rigs, and then we have the rod right there. Promar has all of that for you at promarahi.com. Really great stuff. Go ahead.
I love the hook size 10s. Those for me, they were great. I like a smaller sabiki rig myself. I use a smaller sabiki rig, so you just got to make sure to cut the last one off because they'll kind of hang over the top. So, because I'm on a kayak, so I want a shorter rod.
We got a lot of questions coming in through Instagram now. Sorry. So Jeremiah just has something to add in for the Imperial Beach question. He says the best spots are off of the pier and are both facing south, about midsection of the pier and at the very end.
All right, Jeremiah with a great tip there about fishing near the Imperial Beach Pier, right off the pier. Jeremiah, thank you so very much for contributing that info to the show. We really appreciate it. All right, let's go to Aaron. He's asking what the recommendation is for soaking a pot at like 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's all different. For me, I do 20, 25 minutes, max 30, but I'm hooping in shallower water. Will's hooping a little bit deeper water, so it's going to change for the depth for sure.
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes to an hour. First set's always an hour, then about 45.
Darren says Monterey is loaded with lobsters, so we know they go that far to the north for sure. Carlos Sanchez. Carlos. Buenas noches. What's up, fellas? Love the show. How many hoop nets are allowed on lobster trips Will.
So if you're a single angler on a vessel, you're not allowed more than 5.
How about a married angler? Couldn't resist.
Yeah, is she with you or not?
Yo, there you are. That's a good answer.
So 2 or more people on the boat, you have 10 max. And then if you're a single person on shore, like from a pier, 2 hoops.
All right, very good. Zimmerfish 1. I know it's a long run, but have you guys ever tried San Clemente Island or even the structure around Tanner and Cortez Bank?
Never.
No?
Catalina is the farthest I've gone.
I would never go there specifically for a lobster trip, but if you're out there fishing for other things, there's definitely lobster around there.
I know there's tons of lobster on Cortez and Tanner and Clemente also. But like you say, you can usually get plenty at Catalina, right? No need to
Absolutely.
run that far. But as both Will and Gil say, man, if you're out there, man, you might as well give it a shot. Joaquin says we are all San Diego boys here. All right, sounds good to me. Have you hooped near international water? Brow Gray or whatever it is, Brow Gary wants to know.
Nope, never.
Yeah, you cannot hoop in Mexico, by the way. It's illegal in Mexican waters, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know it is for the locals down there, so I'm sure it is. Greg Bates, let's see. We can zoom through some of these, actually. Central Coast beginner here. Robert, nice to have you with us, my friend. Joaquin said, I caught about 10 fish off the Sunset Cliffs this weekend. Used my binoculars and saw about 100 floating bobbers from lobster traps. Seem to be commercial guys to me. Susan Sosa is here. Susan, great to have you with us, my friend. Hello, Phil. Those lobster I recently caught on the fresh frozen bonito were so sweet and tasty. How long do you grill? Looking forward to hooping with you. Me too, Susan. Here's the grill guy right here. You don't want to overcook anything out of the
Never.
sea, do you?
So you could even undercook it a little bit, but you'll see that the meat start to turn white. And as it just turns white, you want to take it off the grill.
Yeah.
All right, Joaquin says, what do? I keep catching lobster on my line, but I can't catch them in a net.
Nah.
You're in the right area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the right zone, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They should crawl in there at some point in time. Is 30 minutes too quick to pull a lobster hoop net?
No.
Nope. These two guys, you're like 25 minutes, 45 to an hour. Sounds like you're right in the sweet spot there.
The raw.
Sometimes you may not be getting them in your net if your net is too light. Sometimes where you're at, depending on current or whatever the situation, you need a heavier net. So you can actually add weight to your Promar net, or you can get the XL heavies in that case.
Yes.
All right, you have a question,
Yeah,
Brian?
so the Rod IRL says, question here, how much does the water clarity affect hooping? Affect the hooping? And like, should the water clarity affect the depth that you're going? So if you're hooping in really clear water, should you go in like super deep
What was the
water?
guy's name again?
That's the Rod IRL. He also asked something about the moon, the full moon versus like moonrise. He said he wasn't able to get it once the moon came up.
Rod IRL wants
Yeah,
to know
we-
about water clarity and moon.
Yeah, I think the bugs they're you want that clear water. The bugs like it, but the dirty. I've done great in the dirty water, especially after a storm. But as far as the moon, we kind of hit on that at the beginning of the show. We actually hit the moon very well.
All right, very good. Let's see. We are here. Let me see if I can get through a couple of these. Are river mouths good for hooping? Like where you have some outflow, like maybe the Santa Ana, there's some spots where I know halibut fishing is down there
Yeah.
good in Orange County in some areas.
Yeah, I would say if you line up along whatever structures on the edges there, it probably would be very good.
All right, very good. Does the night start out with busy catches and then slows down? Is that normal? Susan Sosa wants to know, does it start out really good?
Yeah,
or
you
is
have that
every night different?
You have that crawl, the first crawl, they crawl out, and of course they're going to kind of be in the nets at first. But then there are also times where like they take a minute to crawl. So it's just, it all depends on the time of day. It's like I was pulling nets last week and they didn't even start crawling until like 2.5 hours after sunset.
All right, Master wants to know, has anyone tried the Promar HD hoop net that has 45-degree spines, typically for crab, but seems like the added height would be tougher for the lobster to get out of?
Yeah, I think those hoop nets are great, up where they're doing Dungeness dropping them for Dungeness crabs and things like that. We don't really need that for lobster here. I like the XLH just fine.
All right, Aaron says Promar Volcano style 45-degree hoops are best. Lobsters crawl with the good power. I'm starting to read like a moron, aren't I? Sound pretty bad. And harder for them to get out once they are in. Renee says, hey guys, hey Renee, we missed you tonight, man. It's good. We'll see you whenever it is. We're going to see you Thursday for sure over at Island Fishing Tqckle, I'm hoping. Brian. Oh, no, I thought you were, what the hell's that mean?
I was stretching my face.
Oh, he was scratching his head.
The
Okay, I
question.
thought he was flashing gang signals.
Question.
Yeah.
I was getting nervous. Like, we're past 6:30, man, you know. You die if you go any further. All right, very good. Well, let's get back into the fun here. If you find a trap on the beach after a storm, and you claim it, Gary wants to know. Hell yes, you can. I don't know.
So there's actually there's a soak time for 2 hours, and then after that, that net's considered abandoned. But you can actually take a net. This is like such a difficult question. Legally, no. That's a Coast Guard thing, or not a Coast Guard, a Harbor Patrol thing. But if you have 5 nets, put it this way: if you have 5 nets and you're on a kayak or you're on a boat by yourself, and you decide to pull up a net or take a net, that gives you 6 nets. You're going to get a ticket if you get caught.
All right, sounds good. You know what the craziest thing I found on the beach was once? I freaking looked out. There was kelp. It was almost like a kelp patty, but it was in the surf. And I looked and I go, what the hell is that? And I went out there, and there was a bitchin' tuna rail rod with a $700 reel on it.
Wow.
So like a $1,500 rod and reel. I threw it up on Facebook for a little while, and then I ended up giving it to a guy that I knew
Wow.
could use it. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Things
it
you
was
find. There's a lot of things I found fishing before.
pretty crazy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's a whole other show.
Yeah.
That really is. All right, Lisa says, should you find a different sport if your bait is full of sea fleas, or just change more often? Either one of you guys.
I think you're in a good spot if you are getting them. But yes, you will have to change your bait a lot more.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Phil, long time no see. This is awesome. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, GHL2T. Aaron, great info. Thanks again, guys. He's really enjoying the show tonight. We've got the info on the lobster logs. We kind of already covered that. Chivo says, if you're on a pier, do you have to have a top buoy with a Go ID? Generally, you would just drop straight down and tie off to the pier.
Yeah, no go ID is needed.
No?
The Go ID is used for a boot when if you're attending your net on a pier. So like if you drop 2 nets, you're in the premises of your net at all times. Floats are meant for when you're basically dropping a net and you're moving off and it's not being attended at all time, so the game wardens know who that lobster trap belongs to.
All right, very good. Yes, Brian.
Girl Got Bass says, if you're getting a lot of stingrays in your net, is it safe to assume you're in a sandy area, or do they kind of tend to go in the rocky area?
Girl got bashed. She's getting a bunch of stingrays in the nets. Is she in the wrong place?
No, not necessarily. So I definitely, especially in the harbor, I get stingrays in my nets all the time. But it's just because we're hooping, around sand and other things. But it could be on top of structure as well.
We are at 6:30, so we should probably start doing the prizes.
Really?
Yeah.
What are we going to do with all these extra questions here?
We're going to have to skip them and save them for the next
Oh,
one.
hey, now, hey, folks, you know my policy. I answer all the questions, so I'm being
We gotta
overruled
we gotta
here.
get the guys home, dude.
6:30. So all of you guys who have asked a question, I apologize. We're not going to get to them. The participation tonight has been phenomenal. Everybody who asked the question, because we didn't respond to it, doesn't mean you're not in the drawing. In fact, one of you late folks in here might win one of these great prizes. So let's do this. How are we going to do this?
So,
Anthony?
How many numbers?
All right, we got 52 people in the raffle. What is the first prize we're giving
We're
away?
gonna do the first. We'll do the sweaters first.
All right, so we're doing a.
So it's gonna be, there's 2 winners. And
Yes.
There's gonna be, and each prize pack is a sweater and shirt. So there's gonna be 2 winners for that. So we'll have you each pick a number, and then
Like a random number?
Just a
Yeah.
random number.
Let me tell everybody. 2, we're gonna give a sweater and a shirt.
Like 6, 7.
Promar sweater and shirt. Will is showing it to you. I was going to model it, but we thought we'd go with the handsome guys here instead of the guy that scare the hell out of us. And so we're going to give those away. These two gentlemen are going to pick a random number. Anthony's going to look and see what the number is, and then the dog is going to tell us who won. Now, you have to come back on here and say, I'm here, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. And then once we see you have 1 minute to respond. So let's start with Will. Pick a number.
21.
21.
21.
Bowline.
Bowline. Justin Petrell, right?
Justin Betrayal.
Yeah.
Skip him.
Oh,
All right, let's skip in, Justin.
All right,
Sorry,
pick another
Justin.
one. We'll let
All
you
right.
do another one. Sorry,
30.
Justin.
32.
32.
You pick and
Because
so am I. I'm bigger.
6267. Brow, Sea Gray, 6267.
All right, I see him right here.
67, 67.
Brow, C. Gary,
Oh, Sea Gary.
you're probably 67, 67. You've just won a hoodie and a t-shirt. They're really, really nice, but you have 1 minute. Brian is timing it as we speak, and he's going to let me know when that 1 minute is up. So please, please, please respond so we can give that to you. We really, really want to do that. Guys, this has been a great show, man.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys
been fun.
made it that way.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Love it.
It's been a lot of
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah, this was
thank
a
you
pleasure.
guys.
He's
Yeah.
got a lot more questions than what we normally
We'll have to do this again in the very near future. Don't see him responding yet. Come on,
about
dude.
30
You've been
seconds.
on here all night long. We're running out of time. How much time we got? 30 seconds? 30 seconds.
He's probably using the bathroom or something.
Browse, Gary, 67, 67. You win! All right.
All right.
So what does he do? Does he contact you?
So whoever wins has to send me an email to info@promarahi.com.
info@promarahi.com.
Yes. And I
Send
will
Brian
request-
Sanchez a message.
Yes.
info@promarahi.com. Congratulations. All right, your turn.
Let's go with 27.
27. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Scott Buchert.
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Justin or Justin 31. I think he was
Justin?
from Instagram.
Why is it with a G?
JOOSTIN. Justin, if you're still here, dude, you won.
Oh, he's over on Instagram. Okay, perfect.
So you gotta send a message in.
Justin 31, we're waiting to hear from him.
Yep.
While we're waiting, can I tell you all to go to promarahi.com, order anything you like and put in FA at checkout, and you'll be notified when there's new content. Gil, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you once again in case they want to.
There you go.
3 ways to get into. Oh, he's here. He's
All
here. He
right.
won. 3 ways to get a hold of me. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
Real quick, sorry. Justin, you win. Just send me an email at info@promarahi. I'll go ahead and send you. Actually, I could probably. There you go. I'll just pin you.
All right, Justin, you're good.
He's good.
Yes.
Now we have a $50 gift card, right, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But we want to get. Let's do the.
Yeah, go ahead.
So to get a hold of me, Facebook, Instagram, Gil Rocket at GILROCKIT. I do giveaways as well on my social media, or visit me on my website at rocketfishing.com. That's my guide service, and have all my socials on there and YouTube videos as well.
And Will.
So for me, Instagram at Wet Willie Fishing. That's Willie with a Y. Facebook is Wilberto, or you could get me on my website, wetwilliefishing.com.
And for yours truly, I'm getting tired of being contacted from people, so don't even try. No, Freedman Adventures, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Appreciate all of you watching and all the great comments. All right, so now Will's going to pick the $50 winner. You want to do that, Brian?
Yes.
All right. Give
8.
us another number.
Number 8.
The
Ooh.
number is 8.
That's a good- that's a good number right there, Will.
Dollars. I like that number too. I
Oldie.
like the number 8.
It's a Kobe, man.
Oh, Graham.
Graham, you see?
Yeah.
You see Graham. Man, I tell you, I know this guy. He's a fantastic guy. He's out fishing with little Bobby McDonough all the time. I get a lot of stuff from him, photos and everything else. You see Graham, you have 1 minute to respond. Please do. Remember, morning briefing tomorrow morning. And also, Tackle Shop Confessions on Wednesday night this week. Thursday, we'll be back at Island Fishing Tqckle with another Promar Ahi Lobster seminar. That's going to be a lot of fun. Who's giving that seminar, Brian, by the way?
It's gonna be Ed Zamora. And
Ed
he's gonna
Zamora.
be me there, as well as Phil. So it'll be a fun time. Make sure you guys stop by.
All right, there's going to be all three of us. So Brian Zamora and Brian Sanchez and
Ed Zamora.
Ed Zamora.
That's super.
I'm starting to get confused. It's past my bedtime, man. Did I tell you I was involved in a serious accident? That's why I'm a little loopy. Since
Tell us
then?
about it. Tell us about it.
It's 500 times since I've told everybody. All right, let's see. Who are we waiting for here? Graham. I don't see him yet. I do see a lot of people on here, though. Great show. Thanks, guys, says Robert Graber. Hey, we're loving it. Steve Bugman is saying hi. So many people on this tonight, man. It's been incredible. Look at all these comments, guys.
Wow.
Look at this.
Thank you guys all for all your
Thank you,
comments.
yeah.
Right?
Thank you for your support.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is all about you guys. This is what it's about. It's fantastic.
Go and follow us.
Yes. Please.
Follow us, please.
Where the hell's Graham?
Graham is not showing up yet.
He's got 15 seconds.
All right, 15 seconds. Tell me when it's 10 so I can count it down.
10.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, UC Graham. Time for another number. We'll go with you, right? And then you can pick the final one.
5.
Number 5.
It is. Sorry, I can't read my writing.
Man, did you watch the SC Notre Dame game?
I did not.
Oh my
No.
God!
I heard it was great. I missed it.
Man,
I missed it.
Those creatures that Notre Dame.
I was
has in their
duck hunting.
backfield.
Greg
Jeremiah
Davidich,
Love and
Who?
52.
What?
Greg Davidich.
Greg
David.
Davidich or Davidich or something like that. And there's some numbers attached to that.
6752.
6752. Greg Davidich, 6752.
I love this
1 minute
6'7". Everything's 6'7".
to claim
6'7". My kids all day. 6'7".
$50 great certificate to Promar Ahi.
You responded?
He hasn't responded.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
6'7".
Isaac is responding.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Let's see.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
It's
Where are we at?
6'7".
45 seconds.
In-N-Out Burger. 6'7".
Justin says, so cool. Did I win a guided kayak trip with Gil? No, but if you want to hit him up.
51 Soriano. What should I do different if I keep swimming crabs in my net? Joaquin. Sorry, guys. We're just waiting to see. What are we at? 30 seconds?
10.
10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, who's doing this now? You or
It's on you.
Let's give some love to number 1.
number 1? That is a great number.
Right, number 1. He
Oh
was
my
first.
God. You guys are still in this. We still have a $100
103K?
certificate coming out.
Pick one.
Okay. Aaron 103X. Actually, it was funny.
He's right here,
He's
right
a 103.
now.
He's not a 6'7"
Aaron-
guy.
Aaron 103 next says next. Like Aaron 103 next. You just won.
You got a message. You got to confirm.
He's good, right? Yeah. I just saw you here.
Greg is here now.
Oh, Greg, you're too late. Darn, Greg. I'm so sorry. Aaron, $50. Where does he get? He goes to info.
Info at
At-
promarahi.com, and I will take care of you guys.
Info
Yes.
at promarahi.com. Aaron, make sure you send Brian a note. You just want a $50 gift certificate. And now, 100 big ones. $100 bucks.
Only the one that we've only
We
given
got one more.
We have one more 50.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
We're giving away two
Greg
50s?
missed it.
Oh, my
He must be like
God.
Greg
Super-
missed it, so now
Look what time it is.
I know. We gotta go.
You're screwing this all up tonight, man.
Gil's looking at
Gil,
me
he
like,
promised you too, didn't he?
My agent's going to come up here and pull me out.
No, really. Another $50 gift certificate coming out. Will.
44.
44. That's another good number. I don't know why. These are all good numbers. tonight.
Brian Navarro.
Brian
He
Navarro.
won last time.
He did?
Yeah.
Brian Navarro's on a roll. Brian, are you here? $50 in your pocket here.
There you go.
On the Promar website. If you respond within 1 minute, we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Brian Navarro. Come on, you can do it. Brian, wake up. Don't tell me your wife insisted that you turn off Friedman Adventure and she's sick and tired of hearing that guy's voice. She hears it in the morning on the morning briefing. She hears it all day long. She can't take it any longer. And she told you to shut it off and you just missed out on $50. Let's see, tons of people still commenting here. We're waiting to see if Brian Navarro, you have 1 minute, probably 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds. Brian, please. Gil wants to go home. Will is tired. He's got to get up early tomorrow morning.
You want to let Greg know that he was late?
Yes, I think I did, right? Greg, I'm sorry you were late, my friend. So, yeah, Greg, no, wasn't too late, he says. I will leave that to our judge.
The judge,
Brian.
the official.
Yes, I don't get involved in these. Brian, no, thank you.
All right.
I'll give a $50 thing to everybody.
1-0.
What's that?
0. We zeroed out.
All right, Brian Navarro, we are out of time. Okay, who's next? Who's picking a number?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Let's go with 44.
Oh, that's the one.
We
Oh.
just did 44. That's
43.
Brian. 43.
GHLT or two.
GHL2T.
GHL2T.
Yeah.
GHL2T. $50. If you can just put something in here that says you're watching right now, you get $50 gift certificate to the Promar Ahi, whatever it is.
Website, yeah.
Yes, website. That's it. Steve Duncan. Wow, I still have a chance. Yes, you do, Steve.
Yeah.
And the next one is for $100. We're still waiting. We're getting close to 45 seconds here.
We're at 40 seconds.
We're at 40 seconds right now. What is that again, dog? GHLT something?
GHL2T.
GHL2T. There can't be anybody even close to that. You got to be the only guy, and you've got literally how much time?
He's got about 20 seconds.
20 seconds left. Let me know when it's 10. I love counting these things down. Yes, I do. I'm weird. I know. These guys will tell you, man.
9,
They heard me when I'm off air. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I forgot what came after. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right, another
What's
number.
going on, folks?
I don't know, man. They're never going to let you guys go. Who's picking now?
13.
13. Lucky 13. Brian Navarro just showed up. Is he too late? Judge? Brian Navarro just showed up.
There's got to be some kind of delay.
Could be.
There probably is a delay.
'Cause there's- yeah.
I mean,
No, because everybody's been accurate. Everybody else has been really quick. They might have a delay.
We're letting the...
Brian Navarro just said yes.
Just said yes. But then everybody else has been right on time, so I don't know.
Or the
Yeah.
people were saying, like, I'm on time. I don't know, man. Hey, it's your show. Go.
One's in the chat.
Judge, what are we going to do?
All right. So
I'm just your host, everybody.
We'll give the 50 to Greg.
All right, $50 to Greg,
Yeah.
and then you got Brian Navarro.
And now, no, Brian Navarro, because Brian Navarro wouldn't have won if Greg didn't win.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just go to the 100 now.
All right, Greg,
All right.
you got it.
Yeah.
Brian, you don't got it because you wouldn't have...
He just won one. He just got one recently.
All right, Brian, we're sorry to get your hopes up. Now we're giving away the $100, and you have 3 minutes to respond. How's that?
We'll do the $100.
$100, 3 minutes to respond.
Behind the scenes.
Who's picking the number now?
That's Will.
That's Will.
Oh.
The fate of their $100 lies in your hand.
My
know.
wife's number is 14. She's not
I'm going
watching
to go
that.
with 11.
Number 11.
Oh, it's Dan Lightfoot.
Dan Lightfoot.
Oh, and I haven't seen him in here for a while. Dan Lightfoot, you got 3. The guy with the funny mustache I pull on for good luck.
Okay.
That's him. In fact, he's going on our lobster trip with us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dan Lightfoot, $100. I haven't seen him in here.
Oh,
Don't
boy.
go anywhere, anybody.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm telling you, he may not show up. Dan Lightfoot. Oh, no, that's not Dan Lightfoot. It's Joaquin Lopez.
Phil,
Joaquin Lopez.
648. It's 6:45 right now.
Greg says, you guys need to work on how you monitor the responses. I replied within 10 seconds. Enjoyed the show regardless. Hey, Greg, I got what are those
gets
poppers?
50.
Huh?
He gets 50.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg got the 50.
Yeah, we gave him the 50.
Greg, you got the 50, man.
He has to email at Promar.
info@promarahi.com. Send him a message. I was going to give him something else as a prize. Greg, you won. How come he's not hearing what we're saying then? Because his response is so delayed coming back to us.
So I'm assuming that there's some delay from, from the viewers end.
Dan Lightfoot.
Oh, he's there.
$100, Dan.
Wow.
There it is.
All right.
Tell him that what he has to do.
Email info@promarahi.
Dan, if you can figure this out, I know this is complicated for an old man like you. You need to email info@promarahi.com and just reference that you want $100. Brian Sanchez will take care of you.
So
Yeah.
everybody has to send me a screenshot, but I'll send that to them in an email. Just
He'll
email
probably
me.
be at one of these two things we're doing over at
there we go.
Island Fishing Tqckle, so
work.
he can bring it to you there. All right, everybody, thank you so
Awesome.
very, very much. Gil, once again.
Yes, thank you so
great
much.
seeing you
Yes,
again,
it was
man.
awesome. Yeah.
Why don't you give your contact info one more
Again,
time, my friend?
Facebook, Instagram at Gil Rocket, GILROCKIT, or visit me at my website at rocketfishing.com. Again, rocket spelled with an I, ROCKIT, fishing.com. See you guys on the web.
Good to see you again,
Yes,
my friend. Thanks for being
Awesome,
there.
man. Thank
Will,
you.
your turn. Tell everybody how they get in touch with you. Jesus, feel that handshake? This guy's my new bodyguard.
At Wet Willie Fishing, that's Willie with the Y, WETWILLY Fishing, on Instagram. Facebook is Wilberto, or you can get me at my website, wetwilliefishing.com. Hit me up. Thank you guys for being here.
All right, thanks
thank you.
again. Gentlemen, thanks for making this show
Yes.
so great. And thanks to all of you. We'll work on these giveaways so we get that down a little bit better. We'll come up with a better system.
Yeah.
But, man, thanks for everybody who participated, all the great questions. Sorry we didn't get to them all. Thanks to Promar Ahi for the great studio and the great prizes. Did you have something else?
Justin, who was one of the winners, said he really wanted to tell you. He's like, his wife walked into the garage and said, "Wow, that guy's got a voice for radio." And then he said, "Well, yeah, that's Phil. Phil's the voice of fishing." So,
Justin, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so very, very much. Guys, it was really a pleasure. I'll remind you all, Freeman Adventures on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Apple Podcast and Spotify. Morning briefing tomorrow morning, and a couple of programming notes. Normally seen tonight is Tackle Shop Confessions. That'll be Wednesday, and then Thursday back at Island Fishing Tqckle with another great Promar Lobster seminar with Brian and what's the guy's name? Zamora.
Ed Zamora.
Ed Zamora. I knew that. Had it right on the tip of my tongue. Have a great night. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, gentlemen.